Alright, this is going to be a shorter video. This one's going to be on strings. How do strings work? And we're not talking about, I don't have any string in rhyming. We're talking about data types. So let's jump right into this one. Before, the previous data type we used was an int, and we did something like this. We said we're going to call a new variable, call it ham, and I want the computer to identify it as some number, an integer. So when it's use ham somewhere down below, it'll say, hey, this is going to be a number. We're going to use strings. And there we go. No S, capital S at the front. And a string is not a number. We're going to use a word or a letter. And I'm going to make a variable up first off. Let's call it, I don't know, let's call it ham. I can't think of anything more interesting. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this program yet. So what kind of project we're going to do. We'll just call it ham. And now we want to know, what does ham mean? Before, let me do again a comparison, a contrast. This might be useful. Before we would say, all right, ham, it's going to be an integer, although I don't want to be defining it twice. Ham 2.0, or just 2, is going to be the value 3, and then we'd be done. And then we could substitute that in ham 2 somewhere down below. Up here, since it's a word, we got to put the word inside of here. So maybe we'll do throw this into a little counter that we made last time. We'll call it seconds, and a little semicolon after there. Let's get rid of that because we're not interested in that. So it's another data type. I give it a name, and I'm calling it ham for whatever reason, and it's going to be the word seconds. So let's see what happens. I want to see what happens. So we're going to open up the serial port, and we're going to use a baud rate of 9600. That's the standard one. I use that because I don't have to change it, because every time I open this up, that's the default one, and I'm generally not interested in speeding it up. There are a few times I do, but most of the time we don't really need to change it. So then we're going to serial print. Let's go to different lines this time, and let's do ham. Let's print some ham out and upload that and see what happens. All right, let's take a look. Bam, now it's printing seconds out. Pretty fast though, so let's slow that down. In fact, let's do something silly here. That delay word, it's always killing me. Have a little space in between. And let's have it say something just kind of funny here. Let's do, I don't know, I'm actually going to call this H. And let's just say I, another string. I want to send some information out to my user when they hook up my Arduino and look at the serial monitor and see what's going on. We'll call this an A, and we'll say it's AM. Another string, call it M, and hungry. Let's go crazy and add a couple more. Call this one, give it a letter, or excuse me, a number this time. We even work with a number. You know, after I've ever actually tried it with a number, let's do a little experiment and see what happens. I am hungry, please. String. Let's keep using numbers until it fails, and we'll know we can't use numbers. Feed. Me. Can you use a number as a variable type? Interesting. So down here, we're going to start it off by putting H. we got to ask, do we want it to go across the screen? We're always kind of going down. Maybe we should go across this time. And then down at the very end. So we're going to go across the screen, across our serial monitor. And do we want to delay every time we do this? A little delay? Yeah, why not? Let's do, put the next letter in. And we're not going to put M in, we're going to put A. And little delay. The cursor means can be that word delay. And we want to keep it on the same line. We will need some gaps in here though. I should just keep it the way it is, and let's pause. This is good practice. Let's put the M in here. Not go too far down our program before we try something out, because I already detect something here. But let's take a look and see what happens. So you have predicted what's going to happen here. Oh, first off, our prediction is it doesn't like 1. It doesn't like a numerical constant. So now we know we can't do that. So let's call this something else. Could we call M1 and M2, and a little experiment here, M3. Some of my experiments I'm just playing with you. I know what's going to happen, but some of them I actually am not quite sure. So let's go back to getting rid of this. Let's call it, just do a different letter. Let's do a B, a C, and a D. Now let's try it again, see if it's happy with that. No, it doesn't like that either. We got another problem actually, besides the one I thought we had. Can I find, oh, right here, equals. It wasn't that problem at all. It was, I didn't put my equals in there. Sometimes you read these messages, you're not really sure what's going on, but at least it shows you where the line is. But that's not often the case either. Sometimes it'll mark an error here, but the error is actually up above. All right, there we go. So let's take a look at what we see here, and this is where I left off. Just jumbled a bunch of words here all together, and that doesn't look very nice. It's hard to read. So we have to actually put another line here. And this one's going to be just some space between each word so we can see it better. I'm going to copy that and put it after this one. That looks great. Put it after this one. So, and let's get a little delay after that. Let's run this. This only takes a second to run it. So now I'll say H, put some spaces in, and H of course is I, and so forth. Let's see, this is a little bit cleaner. I am hungry. Nice. We would like it to jump down to the next line after it makes these statements. And since we're going to be kind of repeating ourselves for the last 4, I want to save myself some time. Control copy. We're going to do this 3 times. Whoop. So we left off with M up here with hungry. Now we need please feed me B, C, D. So B in here, C in here, and D down here. Well, let's take a look at that. All right, let's take a look. I am hungry. Please feed me. Fabulous. And then it repeats itself on the same line. And then it doesn't look very good anymore. I think subconsciously I was motivated for this project because I actually haven't had anything to eat today. But no worries. Don't look up at me because I will record this. And when you look up at me in class, I will have been fed. So I'll eat just after I finish this. So no worries. All right. Let's clean up one more time, and when it gets to the end, I am hungry, let's have it jump down to the next line and say it again. We could have it say it again faster. We could recopy and paste the whole thing and change the the delay times. We go on with this. But let's just do one last thing at the very end here, because it's a loop. So it's going to go through, do every single one of these one at a time. Then when it gets to here, it'll say, hey, all right, after I put the space in, which is technically not even needed because it's the very end of the last word, me, we're going to jump down to a new line. So let's do that and call this good for strings. Good old useful strings here. All right, final peek here. I am hungry, please feed me. Jumps down to the next line. Fabulous. And of course, see if you can figure out how we get a space in between these lines. How would we have it say this and then have a gap, an empty line in between? I'll let you figure that out on your own. All right, that is it for this kind of relatively short lesson.